I get a lot of cold calls. Some of these calls tread a fine line between scams and sharp practice, by which I mean applying pressure sales tactics and making claims that some people might possibly consider to be ever so slightly misleading, if viewed in a certain light from a certain direction. In this video, I'm looking at some recent phone calls from companies who offer a free survey of my loft insulation. If I agree, then a surveyor will be sent to my house totally free of charge, out of the goodness of their own heart. But because everything has to be paid for somehow, that surveyor will probably not be independent. They will be employed by or contracted to the loft insulation company. And they will probably receive commission for telling me that my current insulation is inadequate or dangerous and needs to be replaced by the loft insulation company. The companies that phoned me all ignore the fact that my number is registered with a telephone preference service. They may claim they are not selling anything, but I don't think that stands up, as the call is designed to lead to a sale later on. So, scam or sharp practice? Here's the first call, from Quality Home Solutions, which the major plays with a straight bat. Hello?
Oh, good afternoon. Am I speaking with Mr.
Yes, that's right, yes.
Very good afternoon, Mr. I'm terribly sorry to disturb you on a it's just a very quick courtesy call, but a fairly important one. So my name is I'm the Senior Home Efficiency Manager for Quality Home Solutions. Now, the reason for the call, Mr. We need to try and get your property need to try and get the property there booked in for its overdue loft assessment this week.
The salesman claims that my house is overdue for a loft assessment, and they need to get it booked in this week. So he's immediately trying to create worry and instill a sense of urgency. But this claim is untruthful. There is no regulation that states anybody ever needs a loft assessment, whatever that vague phrase means, so it can't be overdue.
Now, this is a pre-funded assessment. Okay, it doesn't cost you anything. All it's going to cost you is roughly half an hour of your time, and maybe a quick cup of tea for the engineer if you're feeling generous.
The homely references to a cup of tea and feeling generous are put in to make the loft survey sound like a friendly, non-threatening, non-salesy affair.
Now, these assessments, they have to be carried out because basically what's happened is due to the energy crisis in the country, the manufacturers of insulation such as fiberglass and rock wool were actually forced to retest their products and have A, now found them to be insufficient, and more importantly, B, to actually pose possible health risks as the product ages and degrades. It's been found to release harmful fibres and irritants into the air, which can be linked to respiratory problems such as COPD and asthma.
You've just heard the salesman claim that loft assessments have to be carried out, which is untruthful. He claims that loft insulation manufacturers like Rockwool have been forced to retest their products due to the energy crisis in the country. I'm not sure that is factually correct. He goes on to say that as a result, the manufacturers found their own products to be insufficient, and more importantly, that they pose a possible health risk, releasing harmful fibres that can be linked to lung and breathing conditions. On the vague reference to loft insulation materials being insufficient, it is certainly true that older loft insulation may not be as thick as is recommended these days, which is 270 to 300 millimeters. But it is unlikely that the manufacturers themselves found it to be inadequate. They simply started producing thicker materials to comply with new guidelines and regulations. And as regards health risks, the thing about your loft insulation is that it just lies there, much like a salesman. It's not being disturbed. Sure, if you buried your face in it or chucked tufts of insulation around like confetti, you might come into contact with irritating fibres. But nobody does that. Existing insulation is fine. The salesman's script is careful to talk about possible health risks rather than definite ones. But the statement is designed to worry the homeowner and raise fears and concerns that their insulation may be dangerous.
So this is why these assessments have been paid for, okay, and why we need to carry them out. The manufacturers has a duty of care for you.
The salesman claims that the manufacturers pay for the survey. Does he mean the makers of the existing insulation or Quality Home Solutions? It's not clear. The salesman now goes on to describe the survey, repeating the health risk angle for emphasis.
The assessment itself only takes around half an hour, like I say, to complete. It's completely non-intrusive, non-invasive, so nothing has to be moved or disrupted. Everything's done by thermal imagery nowadays, okay? So we do a thermal heat evaluation, we do a moisture and condensation check, and then most importantly we will do the air quality test. And like I say, that is to make sure that there's no harmful fibres or any irritants that may cause you or anybody else in the property any kind of health issues. So we then leave you with a full written surveyor's report, okay, with everything on it for you to read in your own time. And then if you're interested, we can also show you and advise you on a new A-rated installation the government are recommending, and to which they are putting a large amount of age-related funding and discount in.
The salesman claims the government are recommending his company's insulation product. This seems unlikely. He then mentions age-related funding and discounts. These are a mirage. The fact is that companies sell products and services to you at the price they want. If they say something normally costs £5,000, but they can discount it for you to £3,500, it just means they always intended to sell it at £3,500. The higher price they mention is intended to give you the impression that you're getting a good deal.
But currently we're not, with the main purpose of this call, sir, is not, we're not trying to offer you anything or, make you upgrade or anything like that. We're just simply trying to carry out these assessments at the manufacturer's request. Make sure everything's working for you still, make sure everything is more importantly safe for you, okay, and then leave you with all that relative information for you to read in your own time at your own leisure, Mr. Now we are seeing a couple of people a stone's throw away for you tomorrow, and we do only have one more appointment left, so I was looking to try and get you booked in for 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, just for your half-an-hour assessment. Would that be possible, please?
Again, the salesman tries to instill a sense of urgency by suggesting that survey appointments are so scarce that there is only one left. What company are you calling from?
Quality Home Solutions, sir. So we work alongside and in conjunction with the government's Green Deal.
From what I understand, the government has not been involved with the Green Deal since 2015. These days it is financed by private investors. Perhaps this company just hasn't updated its script since then.
Alongside and in conjunction with?
Yes, so many properties many years ago would have had a top-up on something called the Government Green Deal, okay? They would have had a top-up on the installation of fiberglass and rock wool. But like I say, now it's, later on in the years, it's now been found that it's A, highly insufficient, and B, like I say, pose these possible health risks. So this is why we're going throughout the country, postcode to postcode, but they are on the first, these appointments are on first come, first served basis, are very beneficial, and it all goes towards helping us go green for 2030. So you'll be doing your bit to, to aid the country as well.
The words "doing your bit" are designed to apply a little peer pressure. This is a sales tactic. This is also used by door-to-door chuggers who claim that all your neighbours in the community have come together to support whatever charity it is that the chugger agency is earning commission from today.
And like I say, completely pre-funded, so it doesn't cost you anything, sir. All it's going to cost you is a little bit of your time, and like I say, maybe a quick cup of tea if you're being generous. So yes, can we possibly get you booked in for the 9 o'clock tomorrow? Oh, actually, I've had an 11 o'clock become available now as well, sir. So I could do either 9 or 11.
No, thank you.
No, any reason why, sir?
Well, because I just said no, thank you.
Okay, I won't waste any more time. Thank you very much.
Telephone number 01202942346 called today.
The last bit of sales pressure there was his attempt to ignore the fact that no means no. This may be standard practice in sales, but it isn't really ethical. Call 2. I'm not sure where this second person is calling from, possibly the Philippines? He's just a call centre introducer whose job is to generate leads that can be sold to Loft insulation companies. As such, the company he mentions, Insulate Your Home, does not seem to exist. I won't interrupt this call with commentary because the Major keeps interrupting anyway. This is one of the occasions where the Major says something that I wasn't expecting at all, and I just have to run with it.
Hello?
Hello,
Hello.
good afternoon. Can I speak with Mr. please?
Speaking.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Rad, and I am calling regarding your free loft insulation inspection. So this is not a sales call.
It is
Are you
not.
the homeowner? Pardon?
Hello?
And hello? And are you the homeowner at... And with a postcode of... That correct? Thank you. And Mr. Just to confirm, do you rent from the council, rent privately, or do you own the property?
Yes.
Thank you. And would you currently fall between the ages of 60 and 85 years old?
Yes, I'm between those ages, yes.
Thank you. And that's great. And we're almost done. All homeowners in the UK are now entitled to a free loft inspection to get your existing insulation protection checked for safety purposes. And before I organize your inspection, could I ask, is your property a house, bungalow, flat, or maisonette?
Where are you calling from? What company?
I'm calling from Insulate Your Home, asking consumers about free loft inspection. Is it okay to continue? And is your property a house, bungalow, flat, or maisonette, Mr.
Yes, it's a house, yes.
Thank you. And when was your existing loft insulation installed? Within the last 5 years, 10 years, or you are not sure?
Oh, I'm not sure.
That's fine. And lastly, what insulation do you currently have? Is it a fiberglass, rock wool, mineral wool, or you are not sure?
No, I'm not sure. I don't ever go up there.
And that's fine. And
There's
that's all
ghosts
my
up there, you see.
questions done. That's all my questions done. The reason for this free loft inspection is that in many cases, condensation causes old insulations to break down.
No, there's no
and
condensation
become
up there. It's ghosts.
break down and become fibrous, which may cause lung and health issues.
Well, it's not going to do
Vital
that,
check
you know, because
for
the
health-
ghosts will stop it happening.
Pardon?
Yes.
Okay, and so it's vital to check for health and safety purposes. So with your permission, I will pass your details to our assessment team, and they will call you to get you booked in for your free loft inspection. Is that okay, Mr.
No, the ghosts won't allow it. They take a very dim view of that kind of thing. You know, they're floating around up there.
Mr. Knowing your home is safe is very important. And
Yes.
don't worry if you
Well,
have
the
any
ghosts
other
help keep it
questions.
that way.
My senior colleague will answer this when they call you. And can I go ahead and get your permission to contact you, Mr.
As I say, the ghosts won't allow it.
Pardon?
The ghosts won't allow it.
The ghost?
Yes.
There were ghosts in your loft?
Yes, that's right, yes. Floating around in an ectoplasmic manner.
So, Mr. Can I go ahead and get your permission to contact you?
Well, as I say, the ghosts won't allow it. It's out of my hands.
So, you're not interested, Mr.
Well, it doesn't. My opinion is neither here nor there. It's the ghosts that run the place.
So, is it okay to pass your details, Mr.
Well, I mean, I can't say yay or nay. You know, it's down to the ghosts, and they take a very dim view of these sorts of things.
So, hello, Mr.
Hello, yes.
There. So, is it okay to pass your details to our assessment team, and they will call you to get you booked in for your free loft inspection? Is that okay?
Well, as I say, the ghosts, you know, they always like something to moan about, the ghosts, and they'd certainly moan about that you know, with the odd cackle, I should imagine.
So there's a ghost.
Yes. Well, there's several ghosts, and not just one ghost. That'd be ridiculous.
There were entities.
What?
figure, plasmic manner.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. That's all for now. And thank you so much for your time and have a good day, Mr.
Yes, yes, thank you very much. And I'll pass your good wishes on to the ghosts next time I see them.
That's fine. Thank you so much for your time and good luck with the ghost, Mr.
Yes, thank you.
Telephone number 02394352313 called today.
Some companies don't employ real live call centre workers. I don't mean they use the ghosts. I mean they use robocalls with automated recording of a salesperson. This is structured according to natural language rules, with occasional gaps for you to say yes or no to give you the impression that it is a conversation you're having. I like to respond with random words. The aim of the game is to see how many seconds I can keep the call going before the robot cuts it.
Hello?
Hello?
I'm one of the energy advisors covering the area. Now, we're actively contacting homeowners there because apparently a lot have still got fiberglass insulation in the loft space.
I think you're a robot.
What, sorry?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello.
It's about your insulation material in the attic. Some of it has now been classed irritant by the British Lung Foundation. So everybody's entitled to have a loft inspection to check it out and make sure it's not causing any problems. How long ago did you have the inspection? Was it within the last 18 months?
Banana.
So, would you like to take advantage of the free inspection to make sure your insulation is safe and working well?
Hedgehog.
What, sorry?
Mm-hmm.
There's no cost to yourself at all. Let me get that bit out of the way. It doesn't cost you anything. But what we would suggest is to have a qualified surveyor do a quick loft inspection for you just to make sure it's not caused or causing any problems at all. So, would you like
Timber
to
yard.
the free inspection to make sure your insulation is safe and working well?
Timber yard.
Telephone number 02922640047 called today.
The robot said that the British Lung Foundation has classed loft insulation as an irritant, so everybody is entitled to a loft inspection to check it is not causing any problems. This is misleading and is designed to scare the recipient of the phone call. In truth, the British Lung Foundation produced an 11-page fact sheet about various forms of indoor air pollution, such as smoke, damp allergies, VOX, pets, and so on. This is all it says about loft insulation materials. Fiberglass and other synthetic mineral fiber products can release fibers when trimmed, cut, or sanded. These products are often found in the loft space in homes. Larger fibers could irritate your skin, nose, and throat. If you discover fiberglass in your home, don't disturb it. If you come into contact with it, wear a mask and protective clothing. The robot rang me again from a different number. I didn't do so well the second time round.
Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
The energy advisors covering the area. Now, we're actively contacting homeowners there because apparently a lot have still got fiberglass insulation in the loft space. Before
Timber
I
yard.
go on and explain all the details, is it fair to say you've got fiberglass firstly, or maybe one of the derivatives like rock wool in the attic, do you know?
Badger.
What, sorry?
Badger.
Telephone number
744-183 called today.
Another robot was equally unimpressed. Hello?
Hi, it's Chris. I'm a local energy advisor in your postcode area. I understand that you are the homeowner there at the property.
Mushroom.
That's correct? So what's now being recommended to homeowners is to have the loft-in area checked because of the insulation every kind of 2 to 3 years. Can I just
Who
ask,
recommended
have
that?
you had the loft insulation checked since you had that loft insulation installed?
Hip bath.
Okay, no problem at all. So what we actually do is we carry out a no-cost efficiency check. It's completely free of charge. It doesn't cost you anything. What we actually do is we check the lofting area,
Anything?
the roof space, for any damp or any condensation. We look at the current insulation, see the energy efficiency of it. I'm sure you're aware already that if there is any sort of mould or any damp up there, this would cause more heat loss from your property.
Well, it's the ghosts, really.
Telephone number 02039257447 called today.
Whether they are humans or robots, these callers all have one thing in common. They cast aspersions on standard loft insulation materials. So what are they selling instead? I've only been able to find out about Quality Home Solutions, and it turns out they specialise in spray foam insulation. This is more expensive than standard loft insulation, and while it may provide a good level of insulation, unfortunately there are reports that some people who had their homes insulated with spray foam encounter problems when they want to sell or a mortgage is required. Spray foam envelops the roof covering and the timbers, and if it is not installed correctly, it can block ventilation, encourage the growth of condensation, and lock in existing damp. Even if you have it installed by an expert, reputable company, there is no way to prove that it has been correctly done without removing it, which defeats the object of having insulation in the first place, and also costs thousands of pounds. It is worthy of note that none of these callers mention spray foam insulation in their sales pitch, possibly because the companies know that foam's reputation is far from spotless. Finally, scam or sharp practice? I'm going to say sharp practice on this one, as at the end of the day the customer would end up with a genuine product. But that product is being sold in ways that are unethical, misleading and sometimes untruthful, which is very scammy. It is also possible that the person who visits to inspect the loft will be more of a high-pressure salesperson than a disinterested independent surveyor. The insulation material is expensive and it may actually cause new problems once it has been installed. Personally, I wouldn't buy a product of that nature that was sold in this way. Thank you for watching.